The role of non-governmental organizations in promoting welfare and building stronger communities cannot be overemphasized. While they provide essential services like healthcare, education, and humanitarian aid, filling gaps where government services may be limited, they also raise awareness about social issues, influencing policy changes, and promoting human rights. Their scope, according to experts, can also be expanded to empower communities through capacity building, skills training, and economic development initiatives. By playing these roles, NGOs are set to contribute significantly to social welfare and community development, helping build stronger, more resilient communities. And joining us to discuss this subject is Vivian, Ebele Akaenyi, a doctor in medical aesthetics and a young businesswoman. Good to have you on Arise News.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah,
good afternoon.
And I hope I got the surname correct.
Yes, you did.
Thank you. So,
Thank you.
There are those who hold a dim view about contributions of Nigerian NGOs in social welfare, especially when it comes to accountability from foreign donations and, of course, expenditures on domestic programs for which they are set up in the first place. Talking about accountability, transparency here. I'd like your thoughts on that for those naysayers that, okay, NGOs, what are they actually achieving?
I thank you very much for that question. Well, naysayers must always come up in every room, in every ramification. Then referring to NGOs, we basically need to pay a little bit of no attention when you're talking about NGOs, because if you continue to listen to what people say, what you do in the society, and no matter how good you are, no matter what you do, people must always talk down on you and whatever you stand for, all right? So the major thing, most specifically, is to really pay a blind eye to some criticism.
All right. Okay, let me start it off. Okay. I have an NGO background. I actually started my professional career.
Oh, nice.
All right, with NGOs back in the day, decades ago.
Nice.
So if there's anything I caught while doing some of the works for these NGOs, that funding are a critical aspect of the NGO. They're almost like the lifeblood. And there is always the balance of trying to keep those sponsors happy and at the same time trying to utilize this fund. Talk to me about that balancing act.
Well, you must let your sponsors, you must fill them in the gap, you must let them know what you're doing with whatever sponsorship they're bringing on board. You must let them know and make sure you keep an open slate, very transparent. You must make sure you're open for auditing, if that be the case. Keep your sponsors satisfied and fill them in the gap, like I said.
The reason why I asked this question, because sometimes you might just want to do the academic work and say that and probably tick all the boxes to ensure that the sponsors are happy without necessarily probably pushing home your impact, because the impact might not, what the sponsors are looking out for might not just be the same as being on ground and trying to help these people.
Yes. Okay, I get you very well. Well, whether the sponsors are looking out for something so wonderfully made, so well documented, major thing is, whatever be the case, you must keep your eyes on the ground. You must keep your eyes on the goal. We've majorly focused on widows, and whatever be the case, we must make sure there is transparency against all odds. Then in that case, we must bring transparency again to the sponsors and according to our team as well.
Okay.
We're going to be talking a little bit about your foundation as well, but in the ramification, if you were to do a random assessment on poverty alleviation in Nigeria, what has been the impact of NGOs over time, you think? And you can link it to the direction of your NGOs as well, your objectives and why you set this up in the first place.
Yes, so naturally, the impact of NGOs across the country, Nigeria, we majorly focus on giving them food items, giving them money that could finish in a short period of time, say a month, 2, 3, worst case scenario. Now, we need to look further. We need to go beyond all that. We need to look into setting these ones up. We need to look into getting them materials to work with, equipments to work with, not just the food items, not just the monetary gifts of it. We need to look into giving scholarships to these ones, their children, especially the widows. And that exactly is how we intend to get rid of poverty to some large extent within the country, Nigeria.
What has been your contributions regarding Catalog Foundation?
Charity Foundation.
So,
yes.
give us an in-depth view.
Yes. So currently we have what we call Project Rescue Widows. We have 100 stories, 100 lives. What we intend to do is get 100 widows. As of yesterday, we did the profiling for 100 widows. To select, first of all, you need to make sure that the people you call widows are actually widows indeed. We had about minimum of seven women that came on board claiming to be widows. But then when we got started, I had to make an announcement. Please don't wish death upon your husband. If you've got your husband, please indicate. We can still help you. We can still reach out to you. We understand poverty is everywhere. But hey, these and these and these are the things you must not do, the things you must do. And a few of them stood up and waved their hands and said their husbands are alive, but they cannot, really take care of they cannot really take care of the family, which is really quite dicey. You can imagine the height of poverty in the country, Nigeria, Now, if you're looking to settle widows, like I said, you go beyond the monetary part of it. You must intentionally set these ones up. Find out the skill they are very good at, what they were doing before, if at all they worked before their husband's demise, what they intend to do going forward. We made a few of them. A few of them said they learned their tailoring, they are fashion designers, but they don't have the wherewithal to go ahead with what they know to do best. And by the grace of God, we intend to provide these ones machines, tailoring machines, and put them in line, set them up for the business. While some others would tell you, I don't know how to do business, I've never done business before, what would you do with these ones? So on the other hand, we had very old, elderly ones. We had a woman of 77, a widow. We had another one of 64, and we had more of them. In the end, we find out that these ones, you cannot set them up for business. So we need to put them on a lifetime salary, which is not so much. Why? Basically, let them be able to feed themselves and their children. Then we had a widow as young as 37. She already had 4 kids. In other words, she got married quite early. She already had 4 kids, and what will she do right now? She's depressed. She is in a dilemma. What we decided to do in her own case, and the rest of others, not so many of them anyways, is provide scholarship for these ones, for their children, while we set up the mother. Why? By the time the mother is picking up her business, getting in line with what she would like to do, setting it up totally fully well, we must make sure that the little savings she's getting out of it, she doesn't channel it back into the school, paying the school fees and the rest of them. So we had the intention of taking at least 50 children from these widows, to be specific, taking them up and running a scholarship education for them.
Okay. Well, quite commendable, I must say.
Thank you.
But talk to us, is there the backstory behind your NGO and yourself focusing on widows? Yeah. Why widows?
Okay, so I will say something I have never said before.
Okay, we'd like to hear that.
Yes, I lost my dad. Okay. That's not what I've never said before anyways. So I lost my dad 2021 December. We laid him to rest come January. For several years, about 8 years now, Catalog Charity Foundation has been in existence, but never incorporated. We got incorporated same month I laid my dad to rest. Why? It's to have something to really get my memory back in track and remember him for good. Wow. And while he was sick, I asked God, I said, Father Lord, if you keep my father alive till his birthday, which he would have been 80 come April 3rd. If you keep him alive till his birthday, I will single-handedly get 100 widows, feed them, and carry on with the legacy. And that didn't happen. And that didn't stop me from doing that. I prayed to God for it. When he passed on, December, just some months to his birthday, I still say, Father Lord, your reasons, it's best known to you. But in that case, I still promised to do something to feed the widows, clothe them, and take care of their responsibilities to my capacity, right? And I still made sure I did it. And that was when Project Rescue 100 Widows came on board.
All right.
All right, Vivian. It's one thing to set up an NGO. It's another to ensure that that NGO actually stays the course and does what it's supposed to do, the objectives in that regard. So are there enabling laws that actually guide, your functions as an NGO and others as well, to ensure that, okay, you're not just seen as a partner, to, government efforts at alleviating poverty, social welfare, or what have you, but at least being a bridge to, fill in that gap as well. So is there some kind of laws that make sure you guys do what you're supposed to do regarding that?
Yes, we have a lot. We have, let me be precise with our team. We have a team of about 100 people, 100 good meaning Nigerians that has decided to come on board and make sure the Catalog Charity Foundation is a thing of success. And amongst our team, we have 2 barristers, 2 lawyers, and they are doing everything possible. They have put us through the legal background, they have done legal checks for us, we have the doctors, we have the entrepreneurs, we have different sectors and different departments, but coming to the part of it that speaks law in the country Nigeria, yes, we have people already. They are at it and they are doing their very best.
All right, so talk to me. How do you bring your profession into your philanthropy? Talk to us about where these 2 waters meet.
Well, it's not so cumbersome. It's not that difficult. It's not so cumbersome. Why? Because my profession, I am a CEO at the Skin Salver Med Spa and the founder of the Catalog Charity Foundation. Now, the Skin Salver Med Spa is more like a place to show love, you show care, you connect with people. You know, so in the end, what am I trying to say in other words is one way or the other, potato. In the end, we render services, you know, we show love, we connect with humanity, is into hospitality. You know, we must make sure that as you walk into my office, for example, I must make sure you're satisfied against all odds. You know, I must make sure your satisfaction is my priority. That's pretty much what it is. And referring to the NGO, it's the same love, the same care, you know, reaching out to everyone and anyone that comes on board.
And I guess you can do that from any parts of the country, wherever you find yourselves in that regard. Vivian Ebele Akaenyi, founder, Catalog Foundation, would like to thank you for your thoughts on these issues. Good to have you with us on Newsday.
Very good to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.